Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to Mondays with Mr. Happy, aka Mr. Happy Mondays, a weekly Q&A show where you ask me questions and I answer them. It has been a busy week because I've been trying to get videos ready for the rest of the month so that I have time to do a little bit more streaming. Just because it's the month of December, there's going to be a bunch of events happening over on Twitch. Discounted subs, just like if you cheer with bits over this, basically like your currency that you buy on Twitch, and then you throw it at people. They're just giving people more if a certain amount is cheered at them. Then there's going to be discounts to gifted subs on my birthday. So there's just, with the holiday season, my birthday is coming up December 27th, Christmas, New Year. I'm just going to be spending a lot of time live. So I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of the YouTube stuff. Besides, the start of January is going to have Fan Fest. There's going to be all sorts of discussions about that. We're going to have 6.55. We're rolling into a busy game season. I mean, what is it, like a Dragon and Grand Blue, Persona 3. There's the rumor of Elden Ring, but I don't think that's going to happen based on dev comments. We have Dragon's Dogma in March. We have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at the end of February. It's going to be a crazy first few months of next year in between Final Fantasy 14 news. So I'm trying to get ahead as much as I can now so I don't have to worry about things as much then, because I'll also have some easy videos coming during that time. And so, yeah, it's been an exhausting week. Heck, I just walked in from the gym and basically came right to this. So, well, I grabbed a shake first, but that's where I'm at. That's what was going on last week. That's what's going on this week. So keep an eye out. We'll probably have Game Award reactions. I'm predicting the 16 DLC being announced. It's the last opportunity if they want to make it before year's end. Probably another 7 Rebirth trailer to boot. I have some retrospectives. Stormblood, I've recorded all of it. I only have to render one more of them for all 6 of the Stormblood retrospective videos to be done. I have a few videos going over some other stuff in 14. And then I want to try to see if I can even get ahead a little bit in January and see if I can plan a few things, maybe some Duty Finder disasters in between all the news and State of the Realms and whatnot, plus a handful of other things about what to do during downtime. So keeping things very Final Fantasy centric, although I still really want to do some more general Final Fantasy stuff on the channel. Keep in mind, though, that if you do want to watch the live streams, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific every day, plus sometimes some bonus hours. And I stream on YouTube now, too. We're allowed to simulcast between Twitch and YouTube, so I do have both of those running at the same time. Sometimes it's a little tough to keep up with the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat, so I miss a few things, but forgive me if that happens. That's just the name of the game. And also, the Final Fantasy XI event is underway. I barely have to do anything. Everyone's doing so well between all the other people who are helping the new players and the things I've been able to do, largely getting people off the ground. Gobby bag turn-ins, link shell, Discord, everyone's being super social. So I haven't even really had to do a whole lot since I got that underway, but we'll still be doing the first wave now and the second wave in March, just so people have kind of like a central time period to just get in and get going, so they have like a more confident starting off point. That's everything, I think, at this point. So let's get into the Q&A so I can get working on some stuff. Thank you to the sponsors over on Patreon who support. They don't have to. They choose to. All my content's free, so you never have to worry about paying for anything. So as long as you enjoy the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and then ask a question in the comment section if you want to be a part of the weekly Q&A. I don't always get to every question, but, get to most of them. So with that, let's get on to said Q&A. The top rated comment isn't even a question, but it's just somebody saying they appreciate my transparency with channels and why you do things regarding ads and revenue. I feel like it's almost kind of forgotten by a lot of people nowadays, like what creator revenue is actually like. I think everyone has this inflated idea of it being something that's super insane and everyone who does it is rich and all that stuff. And I like to be fairly transparent because at the end of the day, every piece of revenue that a creator has, or not every single piece, but almost everything is attributed to the people who watch the content. I mean, YouTube and Twitch, just by watching those things, I essentially earn, I'd say, a fairly comfortable amount from that alone. And then between subscriptions and tips and whatever, I can't remember, what's through super chats on YouTube, all those things, they all are kind of like a feeling of security, a security net. But at the end of the day, as a creator, you have to make things that people enjoy to the point where they want to contribute those aspects to it. So if I can make a decision that doesn't rely on those things, such as being able to produce more videos during the month of December or stream more in order to make more use of a promotion or whatnot, that's something that people deserve to hear because it's the honest truth. It's not like just a decision that I should make silently and then kind of just push it, and then everyone can almost kind of tell what your agenda is anyway. You know, at the end of the day, I do this for a living, between YouTube, Twitch, sponsors, all that stuff, and I'd like to continue doing that. So the more transparency I have, the better it is for everybody, for myself and for everybody watching, so they understand what it means to me and how I'm thinking about it. Because at the end of the day, without the people watching, without, you know, people tuning into this every week or watching any YouTube video or whatever it is that I'm creating, you know, I don't have a living. So everyone deserves to be kind of a part of that knowledge process, I suppose. Now on to an actual question. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hi, Mr. Happy. Hi. Now that the game has so many mounts to collect, do you think at some point they'll add a milestone achievement for collecting a certain amount? Maybe one that would come with its own mount. I think milestone achievements for everything is kind of an inevitability. It's just what kind of milestone it is. Is it collecting a certain number of things? Is it completing a certain objective that's like kind of well out of the way? Like my world-class troller title is a milestone achievement. I think it's, like I said, inevitable they'll do something like this. The question is when, because it's a lot to ask. And I think you need a lot already there before you release something, instead of releasing it as soon as it's humanly possible. So like there's like barely any room to mess it up or not even mess it up, but to like, if you don't have like PvP mounts, for example, it becomes unobtainable. I feel like they need to have enough for that, but that just depends on what they want the milestone to be. I wouldn't expect it anytime soon, but again, I feel like they have to do it at some point, right? Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Howdy, Haps. Hi. Got another streaming related question for you this week. Sounds good. I had heard that Twitch updated the rules for partners to allow them to stream on multiple platforms. Obviously, you're taking advantage of this by streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. Do you know if this rule also applies to affiliates as well? Also, how does one go about setting this up in OBS? It's something I would like to try to do if I'm allowed, as I'm an affiliate myself. Everyone should be able. It's just part of the terms of service now, basically. I think the only people who can't are people who have signed very, very specifically language like contracts, which obviously wouldn't be an affiliate or a sponsor. Yeah, anyone can do it. Setting it up in OBS, however, is not something that's so simple. I actually had to sign up for a service called Restream, which basically uses cloud technology to stream it across multiple platforms. But there are also some other things you can do. You can open multiple instances of OBS, which can be incredibly stressful on a PC. And something like that you may need to do if you want to simulcast to TikTok, for example, because TikTok has a completely different layout. You know, you can't just do it. I can't have this like format of stream on something like TikTok. So if I do ever decide to do that, I'm going to have to look into what the actual process looks like. I think Restream has their own version of OBS, but I have like Restream like widgets in OBS itself. But I think the Restream version allows you to set like what a TikTok aspect ratio looks like. So I would have to look into all of that, but that's generally the best way to do it. And Restream themselves has a guide on how to set it all up. So that's probably going to be the recommendation I'd make to most people. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Well met, Mr. Happy. Hi. What's your favorite soup? So I don't like really thin soups. So like chicken noodle actually used to make me feel ill when I was young. So I always gravitated towards like potato and cheese, broccoli, creamy, thick and creamy soups. I'd say the only exception to that is when you get into like pho and ramen. Like those are thin broths that I can do pretty well. It's just other, I guess, more American thin broths. That's something about it it just makes me feel gross. But I'm going to leave ramen and pho, because to me, that's like a whole other category. It is a soup, but like those are elevated way past like when I think of soups. So yeah, I'm going to go with a broccoli and cheese soup, I think, or a potato and cheese soup. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy, the Q&A show where I ask questions and you answer them. Damn right. It's been a while since we've had, and then all that, and you didn't even say hello. Disappointing. It's been a while since we've had a Yokai Watch event with our 2 new Endwalker jobs. Do you think they'll do another? They've talked about doing another, but whether, I don't remember if they mentioned adding in the new job stuff. I think every time they do, they talk about it. They talk about adding in the new job stuff. But yeah, if it's going to happen, it'll happen before Dawn Trail. It's just until they say it, I'm not one to be an authority on it. They've openly said like they're in talks about maybe doing it again, but that's a maybe is a maybe, you know, and that's never good for anyone. We just need absolutes. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Ayo, Haps. Ayo. Want to know what motivated your start to weight loss journey and what advice you would give someone trying to start theirs? Bro, I'm single now. It's not like I use it to rizz or anything. It's just like I need something to refocus on me. And that was really the thing. It wasn't the I'm single now, thus I need to put work into myself again. It's that over the years of just kind of falling into complacency, as you can very easily in a relationship, I kind of stopped thinking about myself in most capacities. So I needed something to refocus on me, to recenter on me, because if you can't appreciate yourself, then it's really hard to appreciate other things in life or to expect anyone else to appreciate you. I mean, that messes with your self-esteem. That messes with the way you perceive certain things, actions from other people. Really innocent things can become really, really, not feeling so great. That's why I often tell people, even now that I'm in a shape that I'm more comfortable with, I still don't openly invite comments about my physical appearance. It's only because that was something that has like a history of not great memories for me, that even when it's a compliment, it's not necessarily something I want to hear about, because like that it's like being reminded of something that is not a positive experience in your head, even though in the moment it's referencing like a positive experience or outcome. So it was really just that. It was the motivation to want to refocus on me and kind of come to terms with who I am and what I want and all that stuff. It was just like part of a collaborative effort with other parts of my life. My advice is to find that. It's not to just do it because somebody else tells you to do it. It's to do it because there's something like you want. You have to want something. You can't just do it because you see other people doing it. You have to want something. And when you really are honest with yourself about what you want, it makes it a lot easier to do. At least that was the case for me. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hello, Mr. Happy. Hi. I almost didn't say hi back. Now I would have been the rude one. And another hello for anyone who found lacking. Don't have to go back too far for that one. Notice when we gained the ability to repair other players' gear, people said that we could do that back in 1.0. So my question is there any feature from 1.0 that doesn't exist in 14 that you would like to be brought back no matter how small? That was pretty much the big one, the request repair option, because it was just asinine that we lost it for as long as we did. Like I genuinely don't know how it was just gone for so long. Other than that, not really. I mean, there's some features that maybe if they rework them, you could incorporate them. I think more content types like, what was it? Hamlet, which was like kind of like a crafting combat mix and match. But the way it ended up functioning in 1.0 just kind of sucked. You just kind of kited enemies around for like 30 minutes while your crafters just infinitely made stuff to try to score really well. It had this whole like crafter-centric scoring system for the reward structure for the relic relates. It was not good. It was really, really not good. Could something like that be okay? Sure. But I'm not so optimistic that I want that. I'm just saying that it would have to be something like that if I were to say anything at all. But no, that was the last one on my my little checkbox. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hello, hi, and hey, long time since I've asked a question. Well, welcome. By the time you answer this, my birthday would have passed. Happy belated birthday. So look forward to watching this after your birthday weekend. I hope it was a good one with lots of pizza. 2 quick questions. 1, are you going to be playing the new Dragon's Dogma 2? Hell yes. So funny thing, I've never owned Dragon's Dogma. I played it first at a friend's house and loved it, but never bought it. And I noticed it wasn't only available on Xbox, but like that was how it was introduced to me, was somebody, they had it on Xbox, and then I just played it like that. So that's my experience with it. And then I liked it so much, one of my friends got an Xbox and he was like, yo, you know any good RPGs? And I'm like, why'd you buy an Xbox? And asked me that question. But then I said to him, like, well, you should really pick up Dragon's Dogma. I think that's your best bet. He fell in love with it, so I ended up playing it a little bit when he got it. So I love the first game, despite having never actually owned it. So yeah, I'm definitely playing Dragon's Dogma 2. And I'd like to replay Dragon's Dogma 1 before it comes out. Whether or not I'll finish the whole thing is a bit of a question mark, but meh. Number 2, what is your favorite energy drink if you drink anything? I don't. I drink 5 to 6 cups of coffee in the morning. I drink, I don't know, like 3 liters of water in a day. And then sometimes I'll have like another like liquid of some kind. I'll usually have some advanced GG, like the hydration formula, in probably about 16 ounces of the water that I drink throughout the day. And yeah, that's about it. And then a shake. Yeah, I'll have a shake. Like I don't have my shaker here. I would pick it up and hold it. But like, yeah, that would be the other thing. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hello, Hepperino. Hope the cats are doing well, and so are you. I am doing swell. 2 questions. 1, do they also use the translator like Cater Koji for the JP Fan Fest, or is it only in Japanese? They have only ever live translated, like with like a voiceover or something. I think 1 Japanese audio only fan fest, and that was I think that was the very first Japanese fan festival that Devin and Matt, which would be Bayonne and what was his name? I've been calling him Devin for so many years. Was it Kamate? I think it was. They did like a dub over with like an English script for, I think, the very first JP Fan Fest. That's the only one. So we're not expecting any live translations. We're expecting to get the, the good old live letter experience with like a Reddit translation or the balance or, something like that. And 2, is there a possibility a new limited job as disciple of Hand or Land? Doubt it. I mean, I can't say it's not. Like, obviously, I don't know any better. But no, because I feel like they would have at least mentioned it was a crafter or a gatherer. Also, I feel like crafting or gathering limited job is even worse of an idea because then you're making absolutely nothing useful. Like, at least with Blue Mage, you have like this content that's focused around it. If you had a disciple of Hand or Land that was limited, they wouldn't be able to make any money because they wouldn't be making anything relevant. So it'd be really strange to have it be limited. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, I'm just going to say there's like a 99% chance it's just a combat job. I don't think there's any reason to expect it to be anything other than a combat job for all the reasons I've listed. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hello. Hi. What do you look for when you interview someone for your raid static? I don't actually like interviewing. You can tell a lot about somebody by just playing with them. So we've been trialing people in Criterion, both Criterions 2 and 3. I haven't been trialing anyone in Criterion 1, which I actually think is a really good one to trial people in. But yeah, no, people say everything they need to when they're raiding. You get a big idea of how they think, about how they cooperate, and that's all I do. I look for people who, don't make excuses and just are decent, can pick up mechanics quickly, can perform them consistently, and don't make excuses if they make a mistake. That's it. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Alo, Hap. Say, that's the Criterion. I did that last night. Considering the Steam Deck exists, mobile gaming is growing and Apple is now producing chips that speak the same language across Mac and iPhones. Do you think it's feasible like that? We'd have a native iPhone 14 game application sometime in the future. Native? I doubt it. So it's not just about what can feasibly run the game. It's how anyone feasibly running the games on those platforms can participate in content. Somebody joined a PF on one of those and just fumbled around and had no idea how to make it work, then you're not doing a whole lot. And not to mention, you'd have to, man, the worst part would actually be this. If they made it available for like iPhone and Android, you would have to pay your sub probably. I wonder how they would do the Play Store, because we've seen with so many other apps, like if you download it through the Play Store, your prices have to factor that in, or they have to, they're going to take like some sort of surcharge or something like that. Would they be able to do that? Because they probably want to make you able to just subscribe off the Play Store or something like that, or purchase a subscription. And then they have to charge like $17, $18 a month. That already makes me just say no. But I mean, it's more so, I think it's more likely that more devices like the Steam Deck will be appearing, and those will support Final Fantasy XIV well enough that they're feasible. I mean, you could do it on the Steam Deck now. So that's I think, as far as they ever go with it. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Ayo, Haps. Hey, got a yes and no question and then a piggyback for you. Okay. Do you think you'll do a 14? The problems with machinists and some fun ideas to address in video, but for when Dragoon and Astro spitballing? Yeah, I've already thought about this. In fact, one of my videos coming out this month is one thing I change about every job in the game. And I actually kind of talk about that video in that. And then I also talk about how Astro and Dragoon maybe deserve their own, problems with. The problem with me making a video like that about those jobs is that it would imply I have any extensive knowledge on Astro and Dragoon. And that would be a bold-faced lie. I know what people tell me. I know what I perceive, but I don't know the whole picture. Machinist, I actually play. I play Fizz Range. I have a much better idea of how the job functions and what the core problems with it are and what the core problems have been for years. So I feel like that's a good video idea, and I may do it, but it has to come from a different place. And it can't come from a place of, I know this and this is what they should do, because that's wrong as far as I'm concerned. And 2, in regards to last week's question about removing job group buffs and SE's penchant to do lowest common denominator fixes, do you think them moving buffs to role actions and then designing jobs around their 1-minute windows? That's not the worst idea I've heard. I think 30-second and 1-minute windows. I think 30, 60s, 90s, and then roll actions. You might be onto something. I'd have to like math it all out to see if it actually changes anything. I think no matter what you do at its core, the jobs need to be different. And even then, the roll actions that, like if you run double melee and you have the same roll action twice, how does that end up factoring in? Like, does one of you just not use it? Do you just try to stagger it? Does the boss have to get like some sort of resistance to it like they used to in Virus? There's other issues, but like I like the way you're thinking. I think it probably doesn't work out as neatly as it sounds when you first hear it. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Mr. Happy, hello. Hi. You doing all right? I'm doing all right. Yeah, you're doing all right because you're finally free from top. I can see who's asking this question. At the very least, I think it's the person who I think it is, so I'll go with that. I'm getting into world first rating. I found 7 other D-Gen people to do this. Take in mind, D-Gen people are not necessarily good for doing hardcore rating, because that implies a lot of the times the like D-Gen term comes with really shit sleep schedules, and I can tell you, that'll burn you. What advice do you give first-time 14 world first raiders? What should we know that we're not expecting? Plan your fucking food and drink. Oh God, I hate when I'm doing world first. People are like, well, I'm going to order something. Then they're like, yeah, I got this fat burrito. And I'm like, oh my God. And then like 40 minutes later, they're like, sorry, I'm digesting. I'm so full. I can't stand it. Plan out your food, plan out your drink. Make sure, and by drink, I mean, get a lot of water. Don't buy a billion monsters. Know how much caffeine you can take in a day. If you have any sort of sensitivity or resistance, or you're just trying to stay in a healthy amount, drink a ton of water, maybe get something for a little bit of like a boost of mood, like something that's a treat for you, but that you not just eat it the whole time, you know? So just physically take care of yourself, because when you don't physically take care of yourself, especially for Ultimate, which can drag on for, 2 weeks ish, then the damage you're doing to like your body and your mental and just like your focus is going to be terrible. Like all those things are just going to be not great. So please take care of yourself. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey Haps, or hey Haps. Oh, see, there was 2 hays there. Do you think Square Enix would ever homogenize the tank invul and cooldowns? Paladin seems a bit long and Warrior is too short. I feel like Dark and Gunbreaker have the best balance. Did they ever give an explanation for the cooldown difference? It's funny. Their explanation for it used to make sense when Holmgang was only 6 seconds and, they had a few differences between each other. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. And 5 minutes would be probably what I would stick them all at if I wanted to just make them, there. Why are Surecast arms like active for different durations? Was it just an oversight? I don't remember. I could have, because arm's length is 6 seconds and Surecast, is Surecast 10? Surecast is 10, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember any explanation of that. So maybe because spells are more annoying. I don't know. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hi, Happy. Hi. Been playing this game since Edenverse and was rating and wanted to ask, Phil, job homologization maybe in 2-minute bursts aren't as big of a downgrade as to how tanking and kiting the bosses way less now. Doing Shiva and Eden's Promise and T and even New Cobb as a tank was fun because uptiming was something to do. Oh no, yeah, this has also been brought up a million times. The massive hit boxes that you can hit from the middle of the room pretty much forever. Oh no, you're not wrong. We also talk about this a lot, which is why Criterion's kind of nice because none of the boss hit boxes are so big that you can do the whole mechanic from the center of the room. They make you use the space a lot more. So if you do want to greed, which can be really scary there, you got to work for it a lot more. So yeah, no, most of us agree on this too. Hitboxes being too big. Hashtag a day of the Mon with Happy. That sounds like the Pokemon release date. I don't even know if I'm playing the new Pokemon DLC, dude. I'm playing Dragon Quest Monsters right now, and I'm genuinely having so much more fun than I do playing Pokemon. It's insane. Lolly Ho, hi. Do you think that with the graphics update Dawn Trail will have, they may make the ultimate weapons look much cooler by getting rid of the 144p blocky texture mess? I mean, that depends. That depends on what assets they update and when they update them. You got to remember that the graphics update is not all-encompassing for everything in the game on its immediate release. It's going to be this initial wave of improvements, a lot to the environments and certain key NPCs, but that a lot of other things are going to be over time. So that depends on when they actually do that and if that's on their schedule. It looks like no matter what, gear is getting some form of improvement based on the Paladin that we saw. It'd be strange to think that they wouldn't be improving absolutely everything, but what to expect right on the release and like the quality of it is still a pretty big question mark. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hi. There was a plan for a new EU data center for the summer of 2023, but haven't heard anything more about it and can't find information in the Lodestone. Then they changed the timeline plans. There was also plans for 4 more servers on Dynamis, and that hasn't happened either. I think this may have something to do with the cloud servers. I feel like they want to test that instead of committing even more to the physical data centers. If they determine that they can do that, then they can just use the cloud servers and they don't have to worry nearly as much about that setting up all the hardware and whatnot. So that's the only thing I can predict. But yeah, that and a few other things have just been lost to time and they haven't talked about it in ages. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey, Haps. Hi. How you doing? I'm doing all right. Might have missed you talking about it, but did you end up playing Octopath Traveler 2? Hell to the yes, I did. I played that 3-hour demo for about 30 hours. I was level 69 by the time the game came out. Nice. If so, how'd you think of it compared to the first? It's better in literally every single way. It's criminal that that's on the best, that's not on any of the Game Award nominations, like Best RPG, Best Soundtrack, and Sea of Stars is. I like Sea of Stars, but Octopath 2 is better in literally every conceivable way than Sea of Stars. Like the graphics and the graphic appeal, the music, the entire soundtrack, the gameplay, the story, like it's not even fair. And then also it commercially did much better than Sea of Stars. It's a shocker to me. I have no idea how that's not on there, but it is in every way better than the first game. There's nothing that's worse. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Greetings, Master Happy. No, Mr. Happy. No, not Master. Looking for a bit of clarification. I can't recall where it was said or read, but wasn't something mentioned about players skipping straight to Dawn Trail with something of a highlight review of the previous expansions? They've said they've considered that option. There was one, I think it was an interview where it's translated in multiple different ways. One translation says they are planning to have something for 7.0 that will let you skip right to Dawn Trail. Another translation of that same interview says something completely different. It says that they've been under consideration for this, but they have that book in case they ever decide to do something in the future. So it's like they've only acknowledged that it is something they have discussed internally. There has never been like a, this is going to happen, please look forward to it style message. But one odd translation made it seem like that was maybe how they were leaning. A friend wants to join 14, doesn't want to join Dynamis, or it's a slow data center, and doesn't want to have to hop data centers just to do content. I mean, that's how it is right now. So that's either that or you wait until something on Ether or whatever, wait till that shows up. So yeah, no, there's no promises. There's just anything change. Also, the preferred world EXP you don't really need. It's really nice, but you really don't need it. I mean, we didn't have it for the longest time, and as long as you're doing some quests or, not just beelining straight through things, you generally end up more than ahead, especially if you're making sure to do, what's it called? Do, like dungeons, maybe an extra time, like do a roulette every day when you do log in or whatever. Hashtag, Sorry, I know it's Mr. Happy Monday. Hello, hi. I've been playing through 13 recently and been loving it so far, about halfway through, and I don't see why so many people hate the game. Do you know where all the hate for the game comes from? A lot of it is kind of leftover residual from when it first released, being so different from so many other games. I'll say one thing. It was also, from the first trailer to the release, is nothing alike. The first trailer is not gameplay, but it looks like it'd be really, really cool to control. And then it's nothing like that in the final release. That being said, Final Fantasy, a lot of people kind of just hate Final Fantasy 13 for either very shallow reasons, because they decided they hated it long ago and they still just need some reason to hate it for some reason. I mean, some people also just don't like it. I mean, that's a genuine thing, but there's this weird vitriol around it that's kind of counterbalanced by the fact that a lot of people do love Final Fantasy 13. I'm okay with it. There are things I don't like. I don't like all the leveling sectioning that it makes you do early. I don't like how guild focused it is versus EXP focused it is early on. I don't like the party leader dying resulting in a game over. I think there's a few sections that are poorly paced, but I mean, I could point out sections like that in any Final Fantasy game. So it's that's hardly even a point across. And also, some people have really weird feelings about some of the characters. A lot of people don't like Snow. I totally get that. I don't mind the guy, but I don't have the same vitriol other people have. I don't understand people not liking Hope or complaining about Hope. 13-year-old kid. I'm not going to say everything. I'm not going to spoil everything that happens to the kid. I almost did. I came real close. But 13-year-old kid goes through tons of traumatic events, actually grows and learns, is better in the sequel in 13-2 for it. And people just call him whiny because he's the 13-year-old trying to deal with major trauma, and he just gets flack for it. I can't stand that. It's like a lack of empathy that I just don't understand. And the very last question here, although there's a comment above it that's wild to me. Hashtag Mr. Every Mondays. Yo, Haps. I know that's a wave, so I'm saying yo as of... Never mind. Do you think they'll remove job glamour restrictions 7.0, considering it's one of the most requested things in the forums? I have a feeling there is something programming-wise that makes that... So, actually, okay, I'm going to take that back because I'm remembering something they said. They've outright said they don't want to do this. Regardless of the request for it, this is one of those things they've been pretty adamant about for years. I'm sure that maybe there's some sort of weird, like, design, like programming problem underneath, but I don't think they are going to. They've just been so adamant about not removing job glamours. They don't want, like, a warrior showing up looking like a black mage. And in PvP, I think they've made mention that if they did do that in PvP, they would, like, feel it necessary to just disable all glams. Like, you'd only show up in, like, your job AF or whatever it is. So, like, they just seem totally against it. So I'm going to say probably not. And the weird comment was, hope this guy's health is okay. Looks thin, pale, weak, and tired. Maybe see a doctor for a checkup. Pale, I understand, because I sit in front of the monitor more hours than I'm outside. I mean, I'm outside like for an hour a day, but even then, I'm in front of the monitor for 15. So, but like, who? Who are you? Is this the right channel? Did you click on the wrong channel? Did you have 2 videos up at the same time and then comment on them? Like, I'm not even like, oh, look at me. Hit him. But like, we have very different feelings of what thin, weak, and tired look like. Tired, I always look. These I always have. These are never going away. Those are genetic. There's not like a deficiency or anything. I hate it. My whole family has them. We're not all deficient in the same fucking thing. What is that? Iron? Magnesium? Something? Yeah, I don't remember. Either way, that one was just like, I'm the healthiest I've been. So you're saying when I was 225 and like had a set of second chin, I looked better? People are wild, man. Anyway, that's going to be a wrap for this week's episode of Mondays with Mr. Happy. Remember, if you have a question, ask it in the comment section of the video below. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out all the affiliate links. And I just got to shout that stuff out more because, you know, I just should, because it's my channel and I make a living off that. So anyway, with that, I am going to go work on some other stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.